Bella's second favorite room in the house. The first room, if you didn't know, is the kitchen. But this is the dining room. And it might not look like a super big room, but for the time, it definitely was. Because remember, we're heating everything by a fire at this point in time. So rooms were generally a lot smaller, just to conserve that heat. And so this is where John West Hunter and his family, all their kids, and also their guests who were staying with them, who were traveling the Saginaw Trail, would come in and share a meal together. So without electricity, the Hunter family would have used candles to light a lot of their home. And so candles, they don't transmit a whole lot of light. If you ever tried reading or drawing by candlelight, you might have noticed sometimes they're not very bright. So they might have used a sconce like this, and this was made of tin. And ours isn't polished that well, but highly polished tin reflects a lot of light. So it would have doubled or even tripled the candlelight in the room. So your family probably has a microwave to rewarm food. But without electricity, the Hunter family wouldn't have had a microwave. They would have instead used something like this. And we call it a warming oven. So what you would do is you'd put in food that had grown a little cold or a little lukewarm into this compartment here, shut the metal door, and then the fire would heat up that compartment and rewarm your food for you. So if you have a younger brother or sister, this probably looks really familiar. A high chair. Of course, the one in your dining room might have a few more safety features than this one has. This one doesn't even have a strap to hold in the child, so you better hope your younger brother or sister just doesn't do a face plant out of the chair. Something that we take for granted a lot today is sugar. We use it in so many things, like cooking or sweetening our tea or coffee. But sugar back then was super expensive. It was made from sugar cane that was grown in the Caribbean. And once it was processed, it was put onto a sailboat and shipped to a port on the East Coast, like New York or Boston. And then it had to be loaded onto a wagon and shipped overland to Michigan. So the longer something is in transit like that, the more expensive it becomes. And if you've ever let sugar out in your house, you'll notice that sometimes it gets pretty hard. And this is why sugar was often shipped in cones like this when it was already hard, because there was very little way to keep it in its fine, powdery form that we know today when it was being shipped over that great of a distance. So people back then would have bought their sugar in cones like this and used clippers like these to snip off pieces of sugar and then put them into their oatmeal or their tea or their coffee. So not everyone could afford sugar. But thankfully in Michigan, we have a ton of maple trees around here. And the Native Americans taught these early settlers how to make maple sugar and maple syrup from these maple trees. And honey was also very popular as well. And honey could be found in beehives in the forest as well. So that might also be a chore for young kids, is finding these beehives full of honey or helping their parents harvest maple sugar. Does your family eat meals around a table like this? What sort of things do you think the Hunter family talked about when eating dinner around their dining room table? What sort of manners do your parents expect you to show at the dining room table? The Hunter kids probably would have had to be at their best behavior at all times, since they had people staying with them so very often. And what kind of food do you think the Hunter kids liked? What's your favorite kind of food? For most people at this time, food was something that had to be cooked over in our pretty primitive kitchen. Like Donna was showing you, everything was cooked over a wood-burning stove. So foods were a little bit more simple back then. We do know that one favorite food of people at this time was something called jugged hare. And so rabbit meat was put into a clay container, or the jug, and it was put at the back of the fire and set there to cook with herbs and spices for about 4 to 6 to 8 hours. So kind of like a historical crock pot. So this is one of the several paintings that we have in the Hunter house. Before photography, before cameras, if people wanted something to remember someone else by, they would have to have a painter come in and paint that person's portrait. So this is a picture of a boy named Albert Fisher, and we don't know too much about him other than he lived a couple miles up the road. But one of the things that we definitely know about his family is that they were very, very rich. And how do we know that? One of the biggest clues is the size of the portrait. So for every hour this painter was painting this picture, you had to pay him. So the bigger the portrait, the more hours the painter was working, and the more money you had to pay him. So most people who were a little bit poorer would have had smaller portraits done. But Albert's family decided to go big. So as we go through our 1822 house, you'll notice there's a lot of differences between this house and the home that you live in today. And one of the biggest is there's no electronics. There's no TVs, there's no radios, there's no Nintendo Switches, none of that. But people back then, they liked entertainment just as much as we do. And one of the things they especially liked was music. But without a radio or Spotify, they would have to play the music themselves, which is why instruments like this were an essential in the home. And people were very, very lucky if they had a family member who was really good at playing. So this, even though it looks like a piano, it's a different instrument entirely called a melodeon or a reed organ. And the sound is made from air going through the pipes that's pushed by foot pedals near the floor. And so even though it looks like a piano, it sounds a lot different. And melodeons were a little bit easier to take care of than pianos. And they were very, very, very popular in the mid to late 1800s. But unfortunately, ours doesn't work anymore. All right, so Bella, what did you think of our dining room? So as we go through the rest of the house, next we're going to go into the living room or the parlor of the house. And I want you to just think about what is similar and what is different than the living room in your home today.